Hey guys, welcome back to Coffee and Chel. I am your host, No Sleeves, joined by my partner, Kesso, as always, for episode 18 here. And as we do every week, we start with the fascinating world of Kesso. Tell me what you've been up to, brother.
Yeah, it's episode 18. Our podcast is of legal age now. I got to take in a Penguins game on Friday night with the wife. We went to see the Penguins and Red Wings.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it ended in a shootout. Penguins lost, but it was the second game I went to this year. They lost both I've went to, and they've been winning in general. So like I'm kind of like a bad luck charm right now.
Okay.
But dude, I love watching live hockey. And it's just because you get to see like the small things that you don't see on TV.
Yep.
And one of those things, like watching Sidney Crosby play, obviously he's been in the league for like 15 years now. It's crazy that he always makes the perfect play. Like no matter what, he's like one of the smartest players I've ever seen. I know it's Crosby. This isn't like a new take or whatever, but just seeing that and just like appreciating it while he's still here in the league. And then Moritz Seider is like the real deal.
He looks good.
He had an amazing game. So we did that Friday, hung out yesterday, and then watched some football today.
Dude, football's been very, very good. But recording this Sunday night. Congrats to the Bengals. The Rams and 49ers are on right now.
Yes, and then right now it looks like the Niners might win.
Dude,
they got a 10-point lead going into the
wild.
fourth. I know. I was pulling for the Rams.
I feel like a lot of parlays are not going to be hitting today, but
yeah, my friend that was over had the Bengals and Niners parlayed together. So
wow, the odds on that must have been bananas.
Yeah, it was like a small bet. It was like 25 to win like 250, I think, or something.
That's still pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's good. It's good money. How about you? What'd you do this weekend?
So it was my birthday.
You had a birthday. You had a birthday weekend.
My birthday on Saturday. Appreciate all the homies that came out to the Twitch chat and whatnot. I appreciate everyone that wished me happy birthday on Twitter, on YouTube. I appreciate that. Turned 32. So I'm getting up there, a little bit old. I'm getting a little bit older every year. It was pretty lame. It was supposed to be awesome. My buddy, the boys, CJ and John Wayne from Alaska was gonna fly in along with Regs and a lot of other guys in the community. We were gonna fly in. They had their tickets ready, and then my province got shut down until Monday, so we had to cancel that. And so I basically just went over to my buddy's house, tried a new rum, man. So my buddy is a pretty a connoisseur of alcoholic beverages, and collects a lot of bourbon. Like that's his, but he knows that like spiced rum is mine. So now when it's ever like a new event, when there's like an anniversary or party or get together of any kind, he gets me something new. So we tried something called Dead Man's Fingers, and it was unbelievable. Went in smooth, went down smooth. Had a little cake taste to it, and it was $35. Because I asked him, I was like, man, this is going in smooth and down smooth. So it wasn't no Captain Morgan and like that. So I was like, it's gotta be like 60, 70. Because I figured I know him. So, and he was like, dude, it's 35. He's like, I heard some reviews on it. It got 5 stars on the LCBO website. So for anyone out there, any guys that are in college or whatever, try Dead Man's Fingers. It's on LCBO. It's phenomenal. But then
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, it is really good. Solo with just ice or ordered some Diet Coke. It was either one was really good. My wife got me a new pair of Ray-Bans, which was cool. Nice pair of Ray-Bans, and then I just hung out with the dog. Really not that much. Haven't been feeling very well lately. Not COVID, but just like so tired today for whatever reason. Yeah. But maybe it's because I'm tired of No, I'm just kidding, guys. Let's talk about. We had new events. We had a new patch.
There's a lot going on in the world of Chel. Not the mode, but like the world of NHL.
It's action-packed today. So let's start with the new event. We got the All-Star event, which is one of my favorite. Any of the events that tie in the real NHL to this NHL or to the video game is phenomenal. And I think that when this event was introduced back, I think it was Nicholas's first year on the dev team, when he brought in the if they score in the real thing, it goes up, and the All-Star cards go up, and then the 99 overalls or stat boost for the guys that win the skills comp. Awesome. Love that idea. I think it's one of the more creative ones that EA has every year, and they brought that back event in the same format, which I was super stoked for. We obviously didn't get that last year. I want to talk about like just some of the flaws in this one.
Okay.
So first of all, we got 6 new masters, really good ones. I think we're gonna do our rankings. I know they're riveting. You guys are waiting for those ones. I have a video on it, but we'll see how me and Kesso compare. But then we obviously got all of the other cards. And one of the things I loved about the event is that you kind of had to shoot your shot. So, I remember specifically that I think it was the first year that they did this. It was like, I remember hardest shot was a couple people in it, but it was like Seth Jones and John Carlson was in it, and I think Weber was in it too. So I remember going back and doing some research on the competition. I remember seeing in like when he was on Columbus, like Seth Jones, seeing that like he had like won their like skills comp, like their team skills comp, and I was like, man, I was like, he's got one of the hardest shots. I'm like, I'm buying 4 of them before the event because he'll get boosted up to 99 overall shot. I was like, this is gonna be super important. And then John Carlson won, so it was like, it's really fun. However, the issue now in this event is that the sets don't end until Monday, meaning that you can do the divisional sets and get a choice of one of 3 for the division that contains the best cards. Now, obviously, you might be able to do that. Like, let's say Meyer, for example, Timo Meyer from my Sharks. Let's say he pops off and he wins the MVP and he gets 95 overall. You would still have to luck out and do the Pacific set and get him as the one of the 3. But it's still a much easier thing to do than what it was. I think, in my personal opinion, it should end at 7 p.m. or whatever time it starts on the Saturday. Set should end. Yeah. And so you got to call your shot early on, and then it makes, because it really sucks what really the HUD event did. Because I'll tell you this is one of the first examples of the game driving interest in the sport that I've had in a long time from Hockey Ultimate. Because I don't remember the last time I watched the All-Star game, and I watched all of them because of this event, since this event was in, because it makes it a lot more interesting. But
the All-Star Game's a thing where, like, whenever you're a kid, you think, like, oh, man, this is so important. Like, the players must care about this. And I remember being younger and, like, looking up, like, the records and stuff. Like, oh, Lemieux scored, like, 4 goals one time. Then you're an adult and you realize, the players are just doing it because it's, like, contractually obligated. It's a fun thing for the fans. Nobody really cares about it. You stop watching it in your 20s, maybe, or your late teens. But I do like this event because it's really the only reason I would ever pay attention to the All-Star Game.
No, absolutely. Let's before we get into some other stuff about the event, let's do our rankings of the 6 Masters. All right, so we've been pretty almost identical on the last 3 events we've done. So I've done my video, so I can't change my mind. All right, so we'll go. You tell me your number 6, and then I'll tell you mine.
Okay, I'll go number 6, Danny Briere.
That's funny. Okay, mine was Pekka Rinne. Because goaltender just does not matter enough. It's funny that you said Danny Briere, though, because, okay, so what's your number 5?
My number 5, I'm going to go with Gary Suter.
Wow. All right, viewers, we are all over the place.
Are we off now?
Off? All right, yeah, we are off. Okay, my number 5 was Danny Briere, so we're in the same realm there. Who is your number 4? We're gonna have a debate about this. Who's your number 4?
So I'm doing these off the cuff just because I only thought like a few were like good, you know?
Yeah.
Dan Boyle. You know what? Sorry, let me re-rank this. Dan Boyle, number 5. Gary Suter, number 4. Okay.
Okay, and I actually have to do this again because I said mine wrong. So Rinne is 6 for me.
Okay.
Boyle is 5 for me.
Okay.
Then it's Briere at 4. Okay, and then who do you have at 3?
I am going to go Hayduk.
Okay, I have Hayduk at 3 as well.
All right.
Who is your number 2?
I wouldn't make him, okay? I don't advise this, but Pekka's number 2. Here's why.
Yeah,
Here's why. All right, we have a 6'5" goalie.
Yeah.
With 70 aggression.
Yeah.
With silver post to post, okay? Realistically, this should be the best goalie for the rest of the year. I would never make him, but if we're going the best cards and ranking the cards, he's my number 2.
So you would really make let's say
make him.
No, let's say money wasn't an issue. This is what the rankings would depend on. So the money's not an issue. You would choose Pekka Rinne over Hayduk, Suter, Briere, Boyle.
Because the other positions are stacked, man. Like they're
stacked.
stacked.
We'll talk about so number 1 we have the same. Number 1 we have the same.
So I think number 1 everybody has the same.
Is
right?
Jokic.
Because this is like the clear cut best card.
So let's talk about this because we haven't had one of these cards in a while. Jokinen. Yeah. This is one I feel that everyone should make. Disagree or agree?
I think he's the number one center in the game.
Same.
I'll agree with you.
So
I'll agree with you. I am not, but I am not making him. I'm holding off. I might buy him down the road. I might wait to see what happens with this All-Star game.
The issue with buying him is that he's like 800K. Because I did the same thing. I thought about it, but then I was thinking, because a lot of people have just been saving their cards, like they're untradables, because there hasn't really, like Linden last event, he was slow enough, but like was still like among the best centers. This one is like, he's fast. He's got the best abilities that you could have on a center. And just, even if you are someone who has a God squad, even at the end of Team of the Season, he could be your fourth line center.
Yeah, I think at worst third.
Yeah, exactly. Like
God squad, you're right, fourth line. Yeah, but like
there's no reason that you would be like, oh, I got to get rid of him. And I think that's so. Like for everyone, in my opinion, I think that if you've been holding off making this is one. Here's what I did with him, because I always talk about in these events, because you have to do the upgrade. Don't upgrade them with event collectibles. Always try and do it with coins. However, because he gets up to 95, it's a significant cost. What I would do is, what I did was, I traded in my stuff that was untradeable, and I did the last two tiers. I did it with coins.
So that's what I did for the Linden too.
Yeah, it was like 300K. It was like 300K in total, or maybe it was about maybe 350K. But if like that, if all pans out and he's not very good, or at some point I want to get rid of him, at least I'll get half of that substantial amount back, as opposed to just getting collectibles back. And obviously we know that that's pointless, because you're not going to go and make another one of these guys for that. So, okay, talk to me about Suter.
Suter looks good, actually. You know that? Like, he's 6 foot tall. Like, he's not like extremely small. He's not tall. Like, he's in that middle range. He has great synergies, like for a defenseman that's like not the fastest. You can get him up to like 96 excel, 93 speed. Good shot. I just like there's the Hedman out there, right?
There's not a lot of good like.
For me, like I've had this regret with like Adam Fox. Okay, so like Suter's an inch taller.
Yeah,
not that much of a difference.
He has silver truculence though.
In 2 to 3 weeks. It changes a little bit. In 2 to 3 weeks, there might be that regret like Adam Fox.
I don't know who. So, like, if we're talking like real NHLers, I don't know how many lefties are gonna come out that are like necessary. Like, so for example, like Hedman is clearly the best. The 93 Bowmeister, I think, is one of the best. Gold shutdown, 93 speed, like 6'4". And then I think it's Suter. Like, you have Chikrin, who's like 2 inches taller, but 96 speed was. I think that silver truculence is pretty huge.
Maybe I'm wrong. You know that I'm looking at this card now.
Does he have gold shutdown?
No, he has gold tape to tape.
Yeah,
that's a little different. He does have seeing eye and 1T on his silver.
That was it. I couldn't remember what it was.
That's probably why you thought I'd be like, oh, he's like number 2 or something. He has a great shot. And with silver truculence, he probably could be like your second pairing for the rest of the year. I'm wrong on this. You know what? I'm never afraid to admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong on my rankings. You talked me into the fact that he's better than I thought he was.
I don't think he is a must make, but I think that he is. I think that he is. You won't be upset with him. I think would be.
So I think this is a card where it's like either after like rivals and champs rewards, like middle of the week, like after a lot of these are pulled, or in 2 or 3 weeks if the price drops. I think this is a card you spend like $350 on.
Yes.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I think Hayduk is very vanilla because there's so many good right-handed wingers.
There are a lot.
And he's
like, you
just
have like that Barzell.
Yeah, and he's just and McKinnon, and then if you have Kyrou, Lemieux, like Eichel, Stammer, like there's just too many. Boyle, yeah, unfortunately, if it comes to like trying to make a better team, I think that Boyle is a really fun card, and I love that it's like I have an affinity for him because I was a Sabres fan when I was a kid. But yeah, and then Rene just won't like. I heard some things like some people that tried him out that didn't like him all that much. I think that you have to have gold post to post. I don't know what it is, but it just seems that the feedback I've gotten is that if they don't have gold post to post, it does not. You're not getting the same oomph or whatever. But nonetheless, he does look to be the best goalie.
He does, but like he like on paper he's the best goalie, but like I tried out like that Koskinen and
That's
I
what I'm
thought like, oh, this would be the
saying.
best goalie.
Yeah.
I've been using that 85 Amelka for like weeks
Yep.
now, and he's just fine.
I still
He's
use the
perfectly
X
fine.
Factor price, and I think I'm having him at 89.
Yeah, there's
Like
no reason to invest that much in a goalie.
exactly. So all right, so those are our rankings. It was kind of a mess, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got
What I
there.
don't even know what mine were. All
That's
I
all
know is
right.
number one, Oli Jokinen.
We got there. All right, so let's talk about so a lot of the questions are I see a ton of questions like what division should I do? Like about making the All-Star cards. And again,
Yeah.
guys, if you want to take part in the event, my recommendation is do it before the All-Star game because it makes the All-Star game way more fun. But you don't need to. So just don't do it until after. And I think a lot of people have these unrealistic expectations that these cards can get up extremely high. You got Bella in there.
One sec. I'm gonna see if Henry wants to come in the room.
Let's
Okay.
go. I can hear him
continue
oinking.
on. You
I can
continue
hear him.
on.
All right. So yeah, guys, I did some research and like Hurdle is the record holder for most goals in a post in an All Star event in this format, and it was 5. So that would be 94, and then usually if you get 5 goals, obviously you probably get MVP, and he's bumped up to 95. So like I think a lot of people are expecting that one of these is going to hit super hard, kind of like Duchesne did at the Evo cards. I just don't think it's going to be possible. These teams only play the max games you can play is 2. So you can only play 2 games. If you win, like each division, the 2 divisions play, and then the winners play each other, and that's it. Did he get in there? Is he in there?
He's coming in. I put some popcorn on the ground for him. He was like oinking by the door because I think Bella's in the bedroom with my wife, and he's all rattled. So like, I apologize for this
No,
little
that's all right.
distraction.
I was just saying that like people have these expectations. I think that one of these cards is just going to pop off. But I did some research, and the record holder for most goals in an All-Star event is 5.
Is that on a 3-on-3?
Yeah, in the 3-on-3 format, Hurdle has the record and it's 5, and 4 had only been done like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
So it is not, and speed's only going to go up by 0.5. So
How many years have they done the 3-on-3?
since 2016,
Is it 5?
since
So
2016, and
5 events now.
yeah, because last year
Because
they
we
didn't have
lost.
one. Yep.
Yeah. Um, I did have a question, and I wasn't sure if there was clarification on this, and you might know that.
Yep.
So 5 goals is the record, right?
Mhm.
So like somebody would go up to 94. If they get MVP,
It would just get up to 95.
that's what I thought. Because there were people in the chat that are like, "Oh, somebody can go to 99." Because like I was thinking like that wouldn't make much sense. I don't think they would do that.
They would have
where
to
a
score
card-
6 goals. That'd be a record. I think
Well,
that's
they would
why
get-
it's set at 95.
Even if they got 6 goals, they would still only go to 95,
Well,
right? 'Cause,
what I
like, the
mean is-
MVP.
Yeah, what I mean is like that if they got 6 goals, right, they'd be at 95. It's the only time you run into an issue where maybe
Yeah.
they do something because they're expecting the most they've ever scored is 5, so they're not going to expect like people to like go and get more because they only play 2 games. That's what a lot of people don't realize. It's
They
like
do.
division will play and 2 divisions will play and then the winners play. Is he there? Let's see.
Yeah, here. Let's see. My
Anyone
room's a
watching the
mess right
video,
now.
we're gonna look at him. There he
We
is.
got him.
Is
He's
he
laying down with me. He's laying down.
He just rolls right over.
Yeah.
He's
He just
down.
rolled right over. All right, I'm gonna go close my door here so
All
he
right.
doesn't, and then I'm back for the remainder.
All right. The only podcast where you're going to see a pig. For anyone listening in Spotify or Apple, yeah, on the video version, we've got Henry on camera. What a pig. That's unbelievable. But yeah, so like I don't know
Alrighty.
if there's a lot of like investment you can make because another thing that I've found, with the World Junior events where there's upgradable cards, how many people buy them with the intention of selling and it kills the market afterwards? Everyone anticipates their price to go through the roof. But because everyone is buying them not to use them, but to flip them, they're all battling each other to undercut each other, right?
So if you have that thought like to finish, let
Yeah.
me know, and then I just wanted to
No,
add
go
something.
ahead. Go ahead.
So with this event specifically though, like I think there's people buying like the Larkins and like McDavid, like whoever, like the cards.
There's a couple
that,
usable cards. Like right if they even if they
Already.
didn't get an upgrade, yeah.
I think there's value to be found if you want to flip a card in like some of the less desirable players. So one of those is Kachuk, Eberle, like the
I think
forwards that are
Meyer
in like
I think Meyer will do
Timo
well.
Meyer's one of them. So like the forwards that are in like the 50 to 60K range, right? They're already an 89 overall. Worst case scenario, their floor is like worth 45 to 50K for sets, is it not?
True. Yes. The other thing I want to bring up for guys that you're going to get this on Tuesday morning is wait until we find out if you want to buy a couple. Wait until you find out from NHL.com who is competing in which event, because then you get a little bit more bonus for some of these guys. So, like for example, like the issue here is I don't think any of the defensemen are viable. I went and
I don't
looked.
think
They don't score.
It's not only that they don't score, but they've never won MVP in the 3-on-3 format.
No,
either,
and they
right?
won't. They
And
most
that's the
likely
big thing.
won't. Like, they most
Yeah.
likely won't. So any of the defensemen, like I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Like, there's like Werenski's like maybe 89 speed. Like, I just don't. You have to go into them expecting them to stay roughly the same. However, Slavin in 2020 won the accuracy one, which was odd because that boosted his wrist shot power and accuracy up to 99, which is kind of not what you want. You want to win hardest shot, slap shot there. But yeah, like fastest skater, there's a couple interesting ones. Like Chris Kreider, the last time that this competition was run, he missed out on winning that by 0.4 seconds. And if his 6'3" winger gets 99 speed and acceleration, we're talking.
Watch out.
Yeah,
watch out.
Now it's more than likely going to be Connor McDavid, and if that's the case, he goes from like a 98 to a 99. It's just not very.
That one's not worth it. I think if you have a lot of coins, if somebody would have a lot of coins, it would be worth buying up like those Timo Myers and stuff.
Yep.
Because like worst case scenario, you like sell him at like a 5K loss. But if he would like win MVP,
Yep.
I think he has just as good of a chance to win like MVP or score like 4 goals as anybody else in an All-Star game.
I agree.
All of a sudden, that could be like a 500 to 600K card.
No, I agree. So let's talk about the new patch. We got a new patch. The big gameplay stuff that came in was really not really. It was intercepts were buffed in certain scenarios, like laying down on the ice. They wouldn't go through or under the stick anymore. So like that, I didn't notice that all that much, to be honest with you. And then it was like goalie tracking behind the net. I haven't noticed any change in that. The one thing I have noticed, point shots go in. I have been flaming you.
Think?
I have been flaming you.
Think?
Because I have been running on my stream every single day. I have tried crash the net, overload behind the net with that Hedman and Weber, and I'm just hammering them. Like, I would say like probably like 5 a game at least, and I just could not score. And I'm aiming low blocker. It just would not. And I got so frustrated the one stream. I was like, Kessler doesn't know what he's talking about. This doesn't work. Then this patch comes out. And I am scoring with like Gonchar, Bowmeister. Like I don't know what it is. It might just be in my head, but I'm noticing that point shots go in far side now. Like I'm getting it pretty regularly.
I haven't noticed anything with that. So like I haven't noticed any kind of change with that.
The game feels sluggish to me, and I think that's in my head.
The game feels slower, right?
It's
so people were saying that. People kept coming to my stream this weekend as I was playing champs. I got another top 10 finish because I'm so great at the game. Just throwing that out there.
You also play when the dads get up in the morning. So exactly. anyways.
So people were like, "Hey, do you notice anything different?" Game seems slower, right? And I don't want to have like this like anecdotal, this game's broken, this changed. So 20 game sample size, right? The game does seem a little bit slower. It could be in my head, could be because people are saying that. Pass intercepts, I don't know if they're increased. It's just the pace of the game seems slower, right? Like more breakups. I don't know if it's due to the patch. I don't know if it's in my head. There's that. And then that goalie tracking or the puck tracking, whatever, behind the net, I don't see anything that changed with that, right? So the Pogues goal.
Yep, running it right into the side of the net, yep.
That hasn't changed at all.
It still goes in?
Yeah, I scored that a few times.
Like running it into the goalie.
Oh, no, I meant like, whenever he skates behind the net, L2s and then passes it back.
That should go in. That should go in.
It's a nice goal.
I don't think that one was patched. It was the Gren one where he takes a puck in the corner, then runs it into the side of the net.
I mean, that was still going in practice mode whenever I looked at it.
Recently? Like after the patch?
Yeah, I looked, on like Friday.
I haven't seen it since, so.
The wraparound goal that I have on YouTube, it actually works more now because it beats the goal even if you don't get like the poke check on the player. It goes in cleaner now too. It's just like a clean wrap. So it's like I don't know what that patch note was for because I don't see anything that's changed. And I'm assuming the backhand like far side wrap still works.
Yeah, which I thought that's what it would impact.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what it would impact.
So I don't know what changed there.
Either do I. And again, I try. So as like a game changer, we get like, insider or not insider, but like obviously access to the devs and the amount of times where the community has lost it about like skating being completely different and whatnot, and then I bring it up to the devs, and the devs like, we didn't touch skating, like it has not
Yeah.
been touched, and so I try to keep myself as impartial and not give out an opinion, and then when the community one person says something, like if I were to say something and the people that I influence by playing the game, now they all think it regardless because I said it, and then it just spirals. So I really try to give out my opinion after I played a long time, much like you have. And I didn't notice that my slow players, or slower, because my team is unbelievable, my slower players went slower. I just noticed that my faster players went slower. It was like,
Huh.
yeah, like, so like Linden, Hedman, Bomeister, all this, oh, not Bomeister, but like Weber, all the guys around 90. I didn't notice them going to slower. I noticed that Duchesne, it was like they didn't have enough oomph. Like they just couldn't get going.
Almost like they tuned down like the attribute slider, like the disparity. You
Yeah,
think
like I
between?
just did not get enough. I did not get a lot of space from that, and maybe it's everyone else getting very good teams. Playing Division 1, everyone's got a better team up there, and that's a possibility. That's the one thing that sucks about Ultimate Team modes in any game, is as you progress early on in the year, no one is better than McDavid's base card. When you have
Yeah.
McDavid's base card, there is simply no one that keeps up with him, or very few. As the year goes along, there's 10 options that have 95 plus skating. If you have multiple of them, then you lose that advantage, which is why we talk about size being so important, because then at some point to differentiate what card's better, if all things considered equal, you would take the player that was bigger because he can bump people off the puck and whatnot, and his reach is longer. But yeah, I noticed it was a little bit sluggish. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Again, I think it could just be, I'm assuming it's just in my head because I really don't think they would do anything with skating.
I'm assuming it's in everybody's head.
Yep. Yep. It just does seem
Yeah.
like that. And it might just be we're getting to that point. Um, let's talk about something that's, in my opinion, completely inexcusable. We still get looping, and I don't think we're ever going to get a fix for that.
In NHL 22, we probably won't.
Yeah, I think that something that is completely inexcusable is that they marketed the game to have one of the main headliner features, whether you wanted to consider it, if we'll call it back of the box features.
It was a back of the box feature.
Yes, yeah, the augmented reality. So that's the graphics that go on the ice and everything like that. They released that patch in November or maybe early December, broke the game. All we got was desyncs because of the augmented reality. So when you would score, you'd get into a sync off where you would just have to wait until someone quit. And there was a one that was like over 100 hours, which I love the passion.
Yes, I remember that one.
So they released a patch as a band-aid they just removed that, and there was no fix. But now we've still got looping, and it's a joke. I think that it's you're a $1 billion company. I know EA is a very small portion of that $1 billion company. I just don't understand. I'm not a businessman. I don't have the funds and the money. I'm not seeing everything.
You are a businessman. You're a
Okay,
businessman
technically
now,
yes,
Sticks.
I'm a
Yes,
businessman.
you're a
Yeah.
self-employed businessman.
Yeah, and I don't understand how they are just I understand the sense that they are completely overworked and overwhelmed, as is every sports game developer company. Yearly releases is killing this industry in terms of quality games, but we're still waiting for our next NHL 14. Like the 1 year where everything is like, man, like even the bad parts you see through rose-colored glasses. Like we're waiting for that. We haven't had an NHL like that since NHL 14. I don't know when the last time we had a release where everything went smoothly and was awesome, and the community was just like, yes, in all modes.
Yeah,
And
it hasn't happened since then.
no, and it sucks. Obviously, in Hockey Ultimate Team, we harp on this all the time about we haven't with the same week-to-week stuff is crap. At least they try new things with some of the events, and the X Factors do add a nice new wrinkle to the game and helps with the meta and making some players more usable. Like we talk about smaller defensemen having truculence, actually allowing to be able to bump people out the puck. I think that's great. Goal post to post for smaller goalies. I really like that. But the no fix to looping, and not having the augmented reality, I doubt it comes back in. And it's like, dude, you marketed that. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy that it's like there are some things I could see in the game, like if it doesn't work, like okay, it's not being put back into the game, but it was literally a back of the box feature. Like I'm assuming if you went into the store and you bought a physical copy, I haven't bought a physical copy of a game
Hmm.
in a long time,
Yeah.
it was on the back of the box,
Yeah,
right?
it's just yeah, unfortunate. I don't think like that's acceptable, and I have I'm very pessimistic with EA NHL. I think that, like I said, they work very hard. I don't think it's a laziness thing, and I don't think it's it's a desire to not make the game better. That would just be a dumb thought if you think that they're not trying to make the game better. It's just at some point, it's like hire more people, or you need to hire developers that have the either education or ability to pull off some of these some of the more um, bigger projects that you want to add into your game. Like,
Yeah, I think it's that, and I think it's probably retainment too, like retaining your talent in the video game industry, right? Like
you got to be
these
overworked. Like,
people,
you
they
have to
have
have a
to be.
passion for this game, like for a game. So,
Yeah. And I
like,
think I don't think it's going to get better. I
nope.
think it's only going to get worse. And I think it's not just NHL. Like it's Madden too. I was somebody that played every single Madden game from the time, like I think like Madden 02 or 03. Like I started getting it every year, and just playing it all the time. And then like the last few years I haven't. And then I caught a little bit. They had like the Madden challenge on Twitch,
Oh, dude.
like this past week.
Yeah.
And if you guys, for the people that are listening to this, if you think like the NHL like game has like luck or randomness in it,
That's hockey, a
Madden,
lot of it. But
that is hockey, but
yeah.
like Madden is in a 10 times worse state when it
That
comes
was
to
for like a
actually
100 grand or
playing.
something, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then like the guy just played perfect and it was like dropped interceptions. Football is bouncing off of one defender's hands into the receiver's hands, like fumbles. It was just
Yeah.
it's a terrible game. And then like some of it I watch and it's like I forget what event it was, and I see like Derrick Henry's in a quarterback and he
When they
has
do the
like
position change. We talked about this, and
we
it's
talked
like,
about that. It's like that's not football, man.
yeah.
I'm not even like the like I like football, but like that's like playing like NFL blitz,
Yep.
and that's
No, I
supposed to be
agree.
a
So,
game.
like, I'll tell you this. Last year, MLB had an NHL 14. Like MLB 21, what they did, in my opinion, I'm assuming I've seen a lot of negativity from the MLB community, the guys that grind the game year over year. But from a casual player standpoint, someone who does not grind the game, I played about 1,000 hours of it, so I guess I did, and I streamed it a lot. And it's honestly my second favorite game year over year now. But they had cross console. It was a mess at launch, but after about a month, they ironed that out a little bit. Their servers are worse than NHL's, but
2K has always been like that though.
yeah, well, yeah, like they've been bad with it. So like, but they added the
Or I
parallel
guess that's not
system,
2K.
that'd be
Sorry, that's a dumb
STS.
statement.
But like MLB is like notoriously bad for it. So like the parallel system, where if you use a certain card, the more you use it, it gains experience, and then its overall goes up to a maximum of 5. Just the events, the content, like it was all just a banger. The rest of the game was trash, like franchise mode and the road to the show have not changed in years. But it was so good, the Ultimate Team mode. They are releasing their cover athlete on Monday, so we won't know as we're recording this. They're doing it tomorrow, but I would say like if they put their foot on the throat of the sports gaming industry and come up with another couple of banger additions, I don't even know how they would improve the Ultimate Team like Diamond Dynasty because it's so good. I can't wait to see what happens in the next game because it's just
One of the complaints I've heard though is that there's no real like
there's no
competitive
comp.
mode. Like
That's the only thing. The
yeah,
NHL actually has a better comp scene than MLB, which is mind-boggling to me. But maybe that's just because of the age of the player base. Like you would have to think that MLB maybe skews a little bit older because the game, you know what I mean? Like it's very boring for younger kids nowadays.
but it does so well on Twitch and stuff and other
So
like
well, yeah, and a lot
and
of that's because
YouTube.
of drops and things like that. But
Yeah.
that's MLB as a whole is much bigger than hockey. But yeah, they need a weekend league, much like Madden or Hut Champs. They don't have any of that. If they add that in, oof, man,
If they add that in, I'm in. I'll get the game.
it is very good. But yeah, so I'm curious to see if that puts a lot of pressure on EA and just not just on Madden, but that new college football, man. I've seen so many creators playing college football revamped, and that's a game made in 2014.
Yeah.
And I am so terrified that EA is gonna fumble this bag and not
I have zero hope for that. That new college game, don't get your hopes up. I know we all remember a great game playing it as kids or whatever. This is probably going to be built on the Madden, gameplay engine, like a lot of the same things going over. I am just going to assume it's going to be like a
It's the
bad game.
franchise aspect of college football revamp that's so good. It wasn't so much the gameplay, but like the what you could do to build up your program. If
Mhm.
but man, EA's like franchise modes have just been. I mean, dude, Madden literally had a hashtag, and they had to dial. They failed on delivering on that, and they invested so much in the latest Madden on franchise mode. So like, I don't know. I have a feeling that it's going to be a mess, and I hope it isn't. But I hope we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Let's talk about so let's talk about making masters. All right. So
Okay.
what you're at a point now. You would talk for people that are trying to compete in GWC, which I hope to God we find out something new, guys.
I'm waiting. I've been waiting. I keep seeing these tweets like from like, people like Owe in the community or others.
Yeah.
It's like NHL esports announcement soon, and it's not what I want to see, and I've just been disappointed.
I
So,
have worked on the last two, and they are very last minute. Even when like I was asked to be on the main broadcast, it was like only like 2 maybe 3 weeks beforehand. Maybe not even that. I think it was probably about 2 weeks beforehand. So they are very no, I don't want to say last minute. Well, yeah, they are last minute for it. So we haven't found anything out yet, but it is confirmed happening. We would have to find something out at the beginning of February because there is a lengthy qualification process, and now with the new format of club teams, there is a lengthy final qualification process for the finals. So
yeah.
we'll have to find out something soon. But let's talk about like so the new upgrade process was so well received, but now kind of crapped on because there's no advancement to it. But how would you recommend for free to play or even just competitive players what to do with masters now we're getting into the 95 and above?
Now that we're getting into the 95s and aboves, before even like talking about that, I would isolate like the parts of your team like like aren't going to be touched, right? Like so if you have a couple team of the year players like McDavid and Rantanen, those are free slots, right? So
Who would
whenever
be
we
some
start,
cards? Who would be some cards you would consider that you're never taking off your team?
um, X Factor Ovechkin, because I'm on under the assumption he'll have a team of the season
Dude,
card.
he is feeling like Matthews, like just needs an
He,
upgrade. Like it
he
is,
needs an upgrade.
yeah.
He's at a 93. I don't mind him though because he's like big enough to where he can shrug people off.
Hmm.
So he's one of those players that's like I know he'll be in that like 96 to 97 overall
I
range.
guess so.
Maybe he'll have that
Yeah.
team of the season
So
card.
you won't get
Like
rid of his X factor. You'll just upgrade him.
I'll upgrade his X Factor to the team of the season.
Okay. Okay.
He's one of those. I have McDavid locked in.
Hmm.
That I might sell. I say I have him locked in. He's tradable. He's tradable.
You're
So
gonna
if
get
it,
rid
for,
of Team of the Year Connor McDavid.
if I can upgrade multiple positions with him, sure.
Oh,
But
give
we'll
me an
see.
example.
Um,
That is a hot
so
take. That's a hot take.
that is a hot take, right?
Because
So
you were
Connor
someone
McDavid.
that is not out of the realm of possibility to compete for the Gaming World Championship. So
Yeah, right. So like, let's say I could sell him for 2.5 million. Let's say he's a
okay.
98 overall. Okay, and there is like a master set. 2 years ago, there was this master set Yager card that was out. That was a 97 overall player,
Ugh.
right? Let's say I can get him for 1 million, and then I could get like the MSP like Marian Hossa, that was also a 97 for 1 million coins.
Okay.
That's two right wing players that are very similar in stats, taller players than him that I think would perform better, right? So
Okay.
like I think that'd be an advantage. Rantanen's locked in on my team. He could either be the first or second line right wing. I have Hedman locked in, and then I have Burns also locked in. Like he might not be the top pairing right defenseman, or like right-handed
I
defenseman, but
almost
maybe
have
he's like
him
second.
finally. He's been my free one. I'm
Yeah.
excited to try out that combo. Like it's got. I hate seeing it because like gold
Oh, it's
shutdown
so
is
effective.
gold shutdown is just ugh.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
if we're looking like how do you want your team to look whenever it comes to GWC? A couple cards have come out recently that I think could fill in on your team, right? So like the Oli Jokinen is one
Jokinen.
that you would make. Because I think if you don't have like a God squad, he can be a very serviceable first line center just because he has a silver quick draw, he has born leader, he has like silver tape to tape.
Yep.
So if you have him paired with like a McDavid or something, like that's great. You're gonna win most of your faceoffs. And then I would still just keep like if they're in like that 94 to like 97 overall range as we move on over the next couple months. Like for centers, I'm looking like 6'2" and above. For wingers, I'm looking like 6'1" and above. I think once you hit like 94, 95 excel and speed and stuff, Like that's end game material to me.
Wait,
So
what?
that's
So
how
let me ask you this. So like Mario Lemieux, I'm gonna name some cards. You tell
Mario
me.
Lemieux,
You tell me. Remove.
he is end game, but he's unattainable for most people.
Okay.
He's
Yeah. Yeah.
unattainable
Yeah.
for
That's
me.
fine. Just say. Just say.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
end
go.
game.
Yeah. Okay. Jordan Cairo.
End game. He's 6'1", right? He's end game.
Matt Duchene.
He's third. So for me personally, Eki would tell me I'm wrong.
Dude, did you see
This-
that?
I did you like that reference right there? Did you
Oh
get that?
god, dude! I was like, bro, the amount of comments I got. I don't watch other YouTubers, guys. We've mentioned this before. I really try not to watch other YouTubers. It's just a tactic I learned when I first started. I sub to them. I just don't see even my man Kesso. And yeah, someone came to my chat and like, "Ek, you flamed, you roasted." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So on stream, I went and watched, and he said Crosby was really good, even though Sleeve said he's under 5'11", so he's crap. And I was like, okay, all right, I guess.
Oh, there was this big Reddit thread on it too.
Oh, dude, no, what else?
Oh,
is
it was
good?
even worse. So like I do want to talk about that for a second though.
Mm-hmm.
So like Eki's better than me. There's no denying it. He's better than almost every single person, right?
Yep.
Like he is. He could use anybody. in the
That's so
game.
like that is what I reply with. Like I think a lot of people forget that like my stuff and my channel is designed for the players that are below Division 5, and I personally think with my info and advice can get you to Division 1. But after that, I am not an elite player. I can teach you some things that the elite players do, but when you take a team advice from the best player in the world, you're taking it with a caveat with that they can basically use anyone, and it's tough.
Not only that, it's like so with what Eki said, right? Like
Yep.
Sleeve says, oh, players under. If you take Crosby at 5'11",
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then you take a clone of him just at 6'2", who is the better
Jokinen.
card? The 6'2" player is better. Like I don't care what Eki says. Like he's way better than me. It's just like the 6'2" player is better.
The reach,
And
like
that-
when you're
and that's-
poach checking, like the reach, the bumps are pertain from hit and weight, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like there's I don't know what the argument would be. It's not that they're bad. Like if it's
No.
not like if you're under 6 foot, you're unusable. It's that if you are trying to have the best team to give you the biggest advantage against your opponent online, then there is a clear meta of players to use. But
Yes.
always use your favorite players.
Yeah, of
Danny
course.
Briere
So,
is an
like,
example.
Yeah, Danny Briere's one that I remember him scoring some clutch goals.
It was awesome to
but
watch
yeah,
this saber.
Yeah, so like that was an interesting thing that happened, and then a lot of people commented on it, and then because like I think like Eki could use anybody in the game,
Anyone.
and also there's the thing where it's like he's obviously accomplished so much, but like whenever it comes to like GWC runs and stuff, like I think EUs have it easier to where like they play on Xbox, and like there's just not the same exact
Xbox
kind of
EU
competition.
Xbox EU is, I would make top 32 in that.
You would have a decent chance
Yeah.
at making like top 8.
Yeah.
Just because like it's nobody plays that console
Yeah.
in EU.
It's all play
And-
like on PlayStation. It's very similar to like the NA side because like all of their comp scenes are on PlayStation, like for like 6v6 and stuff. But yeah, like it is. So when they go over to Xbox to do it, there's very few. There's some of the best in the world will do it, but there's their depth of talent on Xbox specifically is very low.
Yeah, so he could probably use who was
Whoever he
that
wants.
5'5" forward that came out? He could probably use him on his first line and make GWC.
Yeah.
Because he's the best player, and it's just like the talent on that console is just not as much.
Yep.
But yeah, did you have any? Sorry, we got sidetracked there. Any other players that you were thinking of, Sleeves? Or
Yeah. So McKinnon.
yeah, I mean he's 6 foot. He'll be 99.
Okay.
He's not for me. I would prefer a taller winger.
Barzal. Same
He's
thing.
not for me. I just think there's so many options in that 6 foot range.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of Gretzky. Same thing.
No, he's never been on my team.
Dude,
whenever
he
it came to
feels
GWC.
average to me.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know why.
remember-
His card feels not that great for me.
Yeah,
And then I guess that pretty much all because all the other ones I think are interchangeable. I agree.
yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about real quick is dude, some of the Evo cards. Yo, we call Jared McCann. Let's pat ourselves on the back.
I regret selling 2 of them for like 300K,
Uh,
man.
I-
Oh,
we
oh,
said it earlier in like one of the first podcasts that we had the event. Jared McCann, dude, he had all the opportunity in the world, and those are the cards that usually pop off. Dude, in bunting, we finally have a rookie card that is like he had a hat trick the
a
other night.
90,
He's a
yeah.
90. He
Yeah.
came out of nowhere. Obviously, you can't do anything about that now, but congrats to all the people that have Evo Bunting. Heads up, Norris is hurt for it looks like a significant period of time. So I would, because man, he's an end game card. He's 6'2"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
center, and like I think he has quick
He was
draw.
up to like a 92 now or
Yeah, but
what?
he's out, and he's getting like he was going for like 600K.
Yeah.
And I think I would sell now because he is hurt for quite some time.
Yeah, and by the time he comes back, like there's just going to be so many cards. So the McCann one though, staying on that for a second.
Yep.
Like so unless there's some crazy injury that happens, he's going to be a 99 probably within a month.
Yep.
There's no reason if you're still looking to like buy a McDavid or something, like McCann's the same exact build. He's going to be pretty much identical stats. Buy the McCann. Like
Yeah, it's a good point. Like for anyone that is trying to get McDavid, I think that now we're at a point if you can get McCann, even if you don't get like if you were talking about McDavid's X Factor and you haven't started McDavid's X Factor or his team of the year, you're spending so much where you could just get Jared McCann. And obviously his abilities aren't going to be as super powered, but it does look like they're giving when they hit 99 an exceptional amount because they gave Duchesne quick pick and or quick draw and elite edges. So
yeah.
so just be on the lookout for that. Last thing before we get into the questions, we got our first 1v1 tournament. Was the Tampa Bay Bolt Shell Challenge. I'm the host for that event, so I'll be flying to Orlando in 2 weeks. We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with the podcast that weekend. Maybe I'll record like live in the hotel room or something. I don't know.
So not only that, I have a friend from the community, Satchmo Davis, that's coming in to stay the weekend too.
Oh,
here,
that's
'cause we're
sick.
going to, you know what? I've been playing. It's interesting. I've been playing club with him since NHL '09, the first year it was introduced. I was like 15. He was
Yep.
like a freshman in college. So we've never met, but there's a concert here that we're going to in Pittsburgh. So he's going to come stay here for the weekend.
Sick.
And then we have the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out worst case we can record on Monday or something.
Yeah, we'll probably
you
just
know?
record on Monday. But yeah, so the Tampa Bay, dude, did you see the bracket? So for anyone that doesn't know and didn't follow along, basically for the NA side, this is one of my favorite events. I've been a part of it for 3 years now. And I love it because they include the Europeans. And this was the first year that they separated them because obviously it was a mess because they included Europeans, but then they had Europeans playing North Americans, and it was a big mess for it. But last year was all online; there was no LAN. This year they ran it where the Europeans, two Europeans qualify, 2 North American people qualify, and those 4 are going to be flown out for the event in 2 weeks. This week specifically, so there was already 3 people for North America. Eki is one of the Europeans, as well as Hanselino. 2 great guys. I love Hanselino. I got to meet him at GWC. Met Eki a number of times. Super stoked to see those guys again. But the North Americans, they got down to their final 4. So it was 4 winners, 1 winner each week for the last 4 weeks. And it was HK, as well as Polgs, who I think is one of the better shots at winning GWC this year. Jose, and then this week was Regs. And now what's going to happen is 4 of those guys, the 2 of them are going to battle each other, and then whoever wins those 2 matches, those 2 will win. So they haven't even made it yet. Did you see the one bracket?
It was literally everybody that's anybody in the NHL competitive scene was just in one bracket.
So like Regs won that, and I saw Padre tweet it out because he was a part of it, but it was like Padre, Geimer, Gren, Regs, Saphir. It was a gauntlet. Risto was in there, like Own the Blue. I could not believe the luck because there was 4 different brackets, and this one specifically was just mess. Dude, I was like, whoever wins this, it needs to be in your Twitter bio because that's more impressive than almost anything other than winning the GWC.
Yeah.
So Regs won it, and kind of surprised because Regs is really, I don't want to say taking a step back, but if you're the best at anything in the world, you have got to like really spend a lot of time and grind, and you know what I mean? Like, and maybe that's a meme, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, how can you play this game that much? Well, if you want to be the best in the world, you've got to play, 20 hours a week, And Regs, he's in his second year of college, I believe. He got a girlfriend, and that's usually what, happens. And it looked like he was on the downswing a little bit, but he comes back and he's qualified for this, so we'll see. He might end up in Orlando. Gren, not there. And I think that the reason why I want to bring up Gren, Obviously, last year's GWC winner and consensus probably still one of, if not one, number two in terms of 1v1. I would still have him number one. Doesn't make it, and I'm wondering if you think that that's a skill gap thing this year.
No, I don't think it is. I can't speak for Gren just because I don't know like how much he's been playing and stuff. I don't think it's a skill gap thing. I think it's just a lack of like this competitive community in North America. We have 4 split consoles. This was the first real tournament. I can't even play on it. I'm somebody that, finished top 8 last year in GWC, right? I don't have an Xbox, so I'm not playing on it. And
You
then we
think the
just don't have
matchmaking glitch does it too?
matchmaking glitch does it, right?
Yep.
Like server-based HUD champs, right? So
Yep.
like you're only playing people within, your region.
Mm-hmm.
Gren, I'm just assuming Gren probably just hasn't played a lot of competitive games like as normally he would in like past years.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
It might be. It might be. I'm not sure because yeah, I was pretty stunned at that. I wasn't. I thought that one of Regs or Gren, and then dude, like that bracket. Good
yeah.
God, man! Like I don't know if we'll ever see anything like that again, guys. That was for anyone that doesn't know, like all the people in this bracket was just insane. But
Yeah, but just one more thing on top
yeah,
of that though, like not only like the lack of the competitive scene, I guess, but I think it's discounting how good some people like other players are too, right? So we know Gren won last year, but he had close games where he almost didn't make it, right? Like
I
he
think
was like
that
in
first
overtime.
round, I'm pretty
He
sure.
wa- he was
Yeah,
he was one goal away from not making it that far.
yeah.
Like I know he won, but like Pogs, Jose, etc. Like all those players are almost just as good as Gren, right? Like
It's a
Gren's
very
a
tough game to
99
have.
overall.
Yeah, it's a very
He's a
tough
or
game
98s. So like
to be significantly better.
yeah, it is. You're not going to win every event.
Yeah.
Eki, besides Eki, I guess he wins most of the EU events.
True, true. Yeah, like it'll be interesting to see future tournaments and whatnot. If Gren, like I said, I think that like even last year there was like a top three, maybe four, and then kind of a drop off where it would be
Yeah,
like the rest. I think this is kind of wide open. Like you still have Gren, in my opinion, would be number one, and then you've got like Josh and Regs and Polgs. I would throw into that top four as well. And then you've got like a 5 to 10 guys that I think are in the same range that could easily win an event, right? But it's like in that range, and I think that we're seeing more now. Whereas last year there was maybe less in that range, and then another drop off kind of thing. So curious to see as we pick up 1v1. I love watching this game played at the highest level. So if you guys, again, I'll be tweeting all that out and whatnot, but I will be the host of their final event in Orlando, which I'm super excited for.
yeah.
Let's get to some questions. We had some interesting
All right.
ones on from
We
Reddit,
did.
so we'll be
We
posting
had
our
one
thread on
that
Reddit.
was marked to answer first.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find this one here.
Yeah.
So let's see. Where was this?
I remember I said if you're reading this, Kesso, this is the read this one on the
Yeah,
thing.
right. Where the hell is this one? I know the question was, and I remember the question. It was basically, what are the different skill gaps at each division to like attain that level, right? Like at what level?
Like what
I'm
I did, I
paraphrasing.
did a
What is
video
this?
series on this last year about like the specific things that you need to do to break over a plateau of a division, and
Yeah, there
generalizing
it is.
those things required. So, breaking from let's say Division 5 or Division 10 all the way up to 5, I think that is learning how to take one timers, learning how to use behind the net, and actually what you're looking for when using behind the net, and really that's it. Like I like maybe defensively not chasing, but really I think that if you understand that, you'll make Division 5. Like I think
Yeah,
that you could get up there. After that, like the next thing, really need to learn how to use the L2. Whether it be spinning, like doing a full spinorama, and how to learn how to do it. I know you have a video on it, how to do a full spinorama or how to do the half spins and spinning certain ways. I think that would get you into Division 3. Because the creativity that opens up is tough to learn because if you try to do it in game, it's probably going to cause you a lot of L's. So I would
yeah.
recommend you just have to go into practice mode and do it enough times where you know what is going to happen when you hit that button. I think. What would be your a couple of your things?
So I think you're right up until that
Yep.
point.
What would be your
Um,
higher ones then? Like getting
the
into Division
higher
2.
ones is more of like the small things, right? So it's like the neutral zone stuff.
Yep.
It's playing slow and playing smart. I think one thing I do well is just like slowing the game down, possessing the puck. I think Division 1, it's like that right stick movement
I was about to say
with
that
puck
getting into
control.
the zone, you cannot skate with the puck in front of your player. It is
Yeah,
always got to be going left and right, because that is what really nullifies people spamming R1. So I agree. I think that
exactly.
is something that you need to learn and get comfortable with, because while it sounds easy, moving the stick back and forth, a lot of people stop skating because
Mm,
it is kind of awkward to go left and right with your right stick and then keep moving and controlling with your left. Like it's a very awkward. If you're thinking about it, if you remove the controller, it's awkward, and you'll notice it, because your hand. So what you'll see is a lot of guys will just hold backhand, and then they'll run out of room, and they're not skating. So they'll just kind of slow it down, then you get bumped off the puck. Whereas players that are really good at it will go left and right, make a cut into the middle, but they're skating the whole time because they're holding up on the left thumbstick because their hands are literally moving both directions. So I think
yeah.
that is definitely something to get in Division Two is the back and forth with stick handling. Yep.
Yeah, up there is also learning how to counter the meta.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times, especially this year, with like the rivals glitch and just like not being able to play like people your skill level. Um, I get matched up with a lot of people that probably either watch like your videos or like maybe one of mine that know how to do plays with like behind the net, but that's all they do,
Yeah.
right? So like they're literally just like a copycat of like a YouTube video,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the easiest people to beat, I think, online, right? So I think it's expanding upon that and learning how to adapt mid game.
If you're
Um,
someone who complains about people skill zoning, that is because you were looking for one, maybe two goals the entire game. I
yeah,
played. So I'll give you an example. I played someone. I want to say his name was. It was one of those weird ones where it was like MX, the Xbox or whatever. That you know what I mean. They put an X instead of a vowel.
yeah.
And he scored 2 goals on me in the first like 10 seconds. It was a high Division 1 guy because I ended up. No, I ended up winning. Sorry. Um, Basically what happened was he got down near my goal line and fired a pass that was literally on my goal line. Like, like the meme cross crease, but this is literally right underneath my defenseman in front of my goalie, and he scored it twice in the first 5 minutes of the game. What I did the rest of that game is I took my centerman and I did not move him. I did not.
Yeah.
I let him have whatever he wanted, and I was streaming this like he did not go for anything else, and he kept forcing it. And he came into my chat in the second period, and he had like 9 minutes TOA. I had two, and I was winning 3-2. And he was mad that I was skill zoning, and I was like, "You cannot get mad at me skill zoning if that is you are offensively skill zoning." If you are just forcing cross ice pass, guys, if you are getting mad at someone skill zoning, it is because you don't know how to beat it, and your offense is all predicated on one thing. Is it annoying? Yes, very annoying because someone's just sitting in the middle, right? But yeah, like if someone is only doing that goal, I'm not moving. Why? Why should I be
I
the one that
agree with
moves?
you.
Right? Like you have to take it. You have to understanding what someone is doing is just as important as you trying to figure out new things to do. So like when you see certain goals, you need to adapt and understand, like, and that's a big thing from Division 1 2 to 1 in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like instead of just having like two or three, set plays or goals that you do, it's like more like five plus, right? And then it's just the consistency in that too. I hate to give the guy credit, Gren, right? But like he's somebody that, and he's at the top of his top of the food chain in the NHL, right? In the NHL competitive scene. He scores every single time there's a chance, right?
Yeah, berries. Yeah, a
So
lot of
it's
those
like,
people. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right. So like, if you give those players breakaways or scoring chances, it's going to end up a goal. But if it's more like Division 2 or 3, like there's that leeway where they're not scoring every time.
You have to
So
have a
I think that's
breakaway
another thing.
move or a move that
Dude,
you
can
need to
we
have
just
one.
talk about though for a second, Sleeves? Every single year consistently, I am terrible at breakaways. It's the only thing in the game that I'm actually bad at.
Really? Maybe because you don't
I
get
don't.
them because
No, I
you're
get
playing
them,
good
and then
players.
I get them, and then I'm terrible at them.
I Datsuk flip. Like it sounds like a meme, but like if they're not controlling their goaltender, I just Datsuk flick, and I probably scored 80% of the time. That's
I
it.
know how to score. The thing is, like in practice mode, I can score them every time.
Yeah, that's
Like once I
weird.
get into it, I don't know what happens.
Just
I just
backhand,
can't score
forehand,
them.
forehand, backhand, forehand. Usually what I do.
Easier said than done.
I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
understanding the strategies and what people are doing is the next thing. But after that, it's a very small mechanics like spinning into a pass, like doing a
That's
spinorama
such
into
a big one. Like I
yeah.
score so many of those every week. Also, I do want to say, and this isn't really tied to this question, but it does relate. You don't have to play the meta way in this
No.
game. There's a lot of people that like that that think like, oh, behind and that's the only viable way to play.
Dude, watch a
Uh,
Junior Penn stream.
but the thing is, there's so much competitive advantage you can gain by just playing a little bit different. Everybody in this game uses behind and that.
Yep.
Everybody does the same exact 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Once you figure out how to stop it, like use overload, use crash the net, take point shots, take different shots. Like you're gonna have an advantage in winning games just because the behind the net stuff is easy to stop once you learn how to stop it.
If you get down 3-0 in the first period, guys, change everything. If you're full passive, go full aggressive. If you are playing behind the net and you get into the zone and can't do anything, it's open, go to crash the net. Like the amount of
Yeah.
games that you would be stunned that you come back from if you play completely different in the second and third period is wild. Because what do you have to lose? What you're doing, you're getting smacked, right? Like I think that's a big thing too, and that people will just stick with what they're doing and won't adjust. So like that adjustments are a big one, but hope that helps a little bit.
Yes, hopefully, right? Let's see. We did have a very interesting question. Let's see. Where's the? I'm looking for this one here. So, what would your last meal be? Metro asked us. So that's appetizer, entree, dessert, and drink.
Okay. Garlic bread, a fountain Diet Coke with lots of ice, lasagna, and my dessert would be ice cream cake.
Ice cream cake.
Like
That's
from
interesting.
Dairy Queen. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I never liked the ice cream cake because the cake gets so hard.
Oh, bro, I love it. Just had it today,
know?
actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I would go appetizer, some good mozzarella sticks or jalapeno poppers.
Okay.
Dinner, I would have to go like a porterhouse, medium rare, with like some fries. Dessert, I would have to go a good tiramisu.
Okay.
And then the drink, like a good IPA, I think, or a
I
stout.
can't. If
don't
I
know.
was trying to get taste, I don't know. It's still. I'd rather have that. Dude, I don't know why Fountain Diet Coke just hits different. I don't know what
It's
it
pretty
is.
good.
It
I mean,
is good.
I think Diet Coke in general is better than regular.
100%.
Yeah, of course.
But the aspartame.
Remember, there was a Donald Trump tweet from like 2010. It's like, you've never seen a skinny person drink Diet Coke. Think about it. All right, so we have a question from Bud2790. Knowing what we know now, is there anything you would do differently at launch or in the game's first couple of weeks? I think knowing about the X factors and stuff now, there's a lot that people would do differently.
I mean, we were pretty like bang on with those. Like
We were really good.
we made a lot of coins early on.
Yeah.
Like, I think that. I mean, what would we do different? Lean in hard. I would have leaned in heavier during the Evo event.
I would have too, and I put in a couple million coins. I would have, instead of doing Riley, which ended up being great, I would have bought like 30 Jared McCanns.
That's okay, but like that's hindsight. Like
That's high. Okay.
yeah, because you did go in and you made a lot of coins on it. Because you'd be like that's. But I wish I would have done it with more people that I believed in. Is what I meant. So like if I did not, you did.
I would have saved my Hut Champs collectibles.
Yeah, that was
more.
when I made Dolan. Because I was like,
Okay.
I gotta have the best team, and it was like an 89 early on, and I only lasted like 2 weeks where I didn't, but yeah, the Hut Champs collectibles, I would have made sure that I went into power up collectibles still.
See, I would have stopped with those two because I think I invested into a few X factors where I upgraded them and then like upgraded them or degraded them. I don't know whatever the
I still
term is.
I think that by the end game, like by GWC, the guys that have gotten consistently like 9 to 11 collectibles each week, like the top 50 players, there's going to be one or two of them that saved like 100, and you're going to see them get to like 96, 97 overall guys, and I think that for the GWC players is probably the play. But
That's what I started doing.
I still think the
saving them.
power of collectibles. Like I think that early on people got mystified by the fact that all of these X Factors had card art, and I still think having McKinnon, having Barzal, having McDavid, like I still find that I wouldn't have done that any different. I don't think.
Yeah,
Because we didn't really invest in the fringe ones.
we didn't.
And we
and
told people to not.
I remember there were a lot of people telling me like I was crazy or whatever because I remember looking at the prices.
Yep.
And I was like, somebody's spending 600K on like a David Pastrnak like X Factor. I was like, this is stupid. And people were like, oh, but he's guaranteed to be 99 or whatever. And I'm like, am I the only one that like thinks this is crazy, but like not a lot of people agreed with me then.
I
And I think
think
now you're seeing it.
if you get 11 wins in Hut Champs, you can have as many as you want. If you can't get 11 wins in Hut Champs, it drastically changes the outlook on X Factors, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, we've been pretty bang on, man, and we have not been market geniuses.
We never have. This was the first
This
year
is
I
the
kind of
first year.
dabbled in it.
Yeah, we did pretty well.
So Maze is asking about guaranteed rewards for rivals. Um, this is a bit different from your idea, Sleaze, but for example, let's say rivals last 2 weeks, and if you get a certain amount of wins, let's say maybe 35 or 40 out of 50, so points don't matter, you're guaranteed an 88 plus pack in Division 1, and then so on, like 87 plus in Division 2. And then maybe every month it increases. So if you're playing in January, maybe it's like a 90 plus overall that you're guaranteed.
Dude, just get rid of the point system and go win based.
Yeah, the point system is so bad.
It's so dumb because it makes people like the 5 arbitrary goal. We've talked about this. Like, if I beat you and I won 2-1, I don't get more points than if I beat some schmo 5-0. Like, it's mind boggling. When in reality, if I beat you, that is a substantial thing, right? So I think it should just be win based. So if you have 50 games, guaranteed reward at 30 for your division, and then there's a card that
I would like to see that.
What would be great? What would be great? And because the thing is, like, well, how do you do it for division? Okay. What I think that you should do, first of all, I think they should remove 5 divisions. There's not enough of a player base to separate them into 10. Okay, 5 divisions. All right, you have such a small player base. Let's widen that gap, because Division 10 to Division 6, it's very similar players. The gap is really not that high. Like I said, it's very basic what you would need to get into Division 5. And then obviously, whatever. If you're Division 2 and Division 1, you get 30 wins in that. You get, perfect example, you get let's say it happened to this event, okay? 2 weeks long, you get a 95 guaranteed overall. Could be a master from the event, or it could be a specific card that, let's say it's an Owen Nolan, another card that has an impactful all-star meaning, but you can only get it by getting 30 wins in your respective division. Now, if you weren't in Division 1, let's say you're in Division 5, and you got 30 wins in Division 5, you got the 86 version that you can pay to upgrade. Pay to upgrade.
Oh, that'd be good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that fixes the division issue. And if you're in Division 3 and you get 30 wins, then you're getting an 88 overall or an 89, like however it would scale. But I think that is how it should be done. Get rid of this point system. It's garbage. It makes no sense. And the matchmaking system has completely ruined Division 1. When you 2 hours after reset, you see someone with 10,000 points. First of all, if there is not enough time for that to actually happen. So what is happening is that player is matchmaking, glitching, and facing Division 9 guys, ramming them 4-0 in the first 4 seconds, and they're quitting out. That's what's happening when you see that. And it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Ruins the experience for players that aren't god players, and it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Tell me how you really feel, Sleaze.
Yeah, dude, it blows my mind when there's just easy, clear, logical fixes, and it just won't happen. It won't happen, so.
Yeah.
But I stumbled upon a really good idea. Chat, let me know. I think that would be a sick idea.
But it's a great idea. Obviously it is. I had to so whenever the patch came out on Thursday, I usually do a 1 hour stream from 12 to 1. Lunch champ streams, And Hut Champs was delayed, so I was forced to stream Rivals. Hats off to you, because you stream Rivals every day. I don't know how you do it.
That's in quotes. I play 3 games and I just shoot the shit for them.
Well, that's what it ended up being. I ended up losing both of the games I'm playing just because I'm talking to people.
And you're playing Division 1 guys
It's just weekly thing that's just
it's
not
sucks.
Enjoyable.
Nothing guaranteed.
No, it's not. It's not. Please give us something else.
Dude,
please.
I would love it. The system is in the game. A card that you could only obtain by getting a set amount of wins in your rivals out of the 50 games, And what's great about that is if you're a god tier player and you go 30-0, you're done at 30 games.
Yes.
And you don't got to play. Why do you got to keep playing? Stop. Go touch grass.
Just as an aside, Just add a leaderboard, an overall leaderboard into the system for people like me.
That would help
You know,
too.
and only 5 divisions. Here's the thing: with only 5 divisions, it's 20% in each, right? You can only match within your division. I think the player base is small, but it's still big enough to only match within your division. So Division 1 is now Division 1 and 2 under the current
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about this god awful matchmaking glitch. It's still in the game, which it kind of actually
It
needs
is
to
in the
be
game because it has to be. That I'm
It has to be.
convinced because of how Rivals works. It hard matches you with your skill level. When guys get up to 2000 and 2100 into Division 1, there is so few of the player base that can hit that those kids are searching for 20 minutes. And I feel bad for good players.
I've done it. I've had to
Yeah.
use the glitch because there's times I just
Yep.
want to play one game and I can't because it's taking
But there
forever
is
to
also
search.
a large portion of the community that is just fully taking advantage of it because of how Rivals is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I hope they don't pull anything from their packs.
Yeah. I hope you step on Legos.
Yeah. So AC Mop has a question. Great episode, Face of Hut and Face of Reddit sleeves. If you haven't heard yet, I've anointed myself the face of Reddit. I don't know if I want to be the face of Reddit, but
That's a tough mantle to hold, dog.
it's a tough face.
I'm the butt of
tough-
Reddit. It's not
Yeah.
enjoyable.
What are some MSP player names you're hoping to see in the next couple of events?
God, a Red Wings player, for God's sake. Jesus.
Yeah, right. I would like to see like a Kopitar, I think. Thinking about like what kind of player I'd want on my
I
team for
want
GWC.
non-master, good NHL players for all events. Good players on the cusp of getting an X Factor card next year that did not. Kopitar, so like Kopitar got one, so I'll pretend like I can't even saying this. Like Drew Doughty, okay, not good enough to get an X Factor, but still a star name. Quinn Hughes did get one. Shabbat was another one. Larkin, like, how did so I complained because the Sharks haven't got one, and they get 3 all right-handed defensemen back to back events.
Yeah,
I can't complain because Dan Boyle's a sick one, but
Dan
dude,
Boyle's a cool one.
there has not been a Red Wing, like, or a Golden Knight.
Yeah.
How
and
is
it's
there
weird
not-
with the Red Wings though, because they're such a storied franchise.
Yeah.
And they've been giving the alumni a little bit of love with these MSPs, right?
I mean,
There will be a
Carlisle,
Wings-
yeah, for like Pittsburgh, it's just like, God, that one was so
which
dumb.
we've talked about.
God, that
the
was dumb.
dumbest- That was a terrible choice.
Yeah, Brendan, if you're
Yeah,
listening to this,
so-
bro, big miss.
I was surprised. I thought this was the event that Larkin would get like an All-Star MSP or something, right? He's played it. I'm assuming it's still in Larkin. He's played in All-Star games, right?
Yeah, I don't know unless there's an event where he's getting a ton, but like, I'm sure Yzerman made the All-Star game.
I'm sure literally dozens of Red Wings
Lidstrom,
in
like dude, like the entire like 2004 team or 2003 team or whatever.
It's the 2001 2002 Detroit Red Wing roster. If you guys like, if you didn't watch hockey, then
it's just
go
Hall
on
of Famers,
Google,
bro.
Look
That
at
and
that
the
roster.
Avalanche, like good
Brett
lord.
Hall was playing on like the 4th line, I think, with Datsuk and Luke Robitaille. I'm
Chelios.
trying to think.
Larry Ann, Thomas Holmstrom, Chris Draper, like it's just it's
They
wild.
had like 10 Hall of Famers on like one team.
It was nuts.
It was just unfair. No salary cap back then. But yeah, there's more than enough.
Do one more.
All right, so let's see. So this was an interesting one. Cryptica asked, I have an inclination that the ability all alone would be a good synergy. I'm assuming he means X Factor.
Yep.
On faster players, yet there's only one player in the game that has it, an X Factor Barkov. Think we
Just
might
so-
see a larger variety of those in the future?
First of all, I don't understand what it does, and it's not clear, which is a common thing with stats and abilities from EA Sports NHL. So, do you get a wrist shot, slap shot, deking boost on break? I'm assuming that's what it is.
I have no idea because
idea.
it's not clear. I would like to see all of the X Factors.
The issue,
have-
well, some of them are pretty in detail. Like in reverse, it explains exactly that the buff that you have from skating backwards is removed, or the debuff.
I'm talking about. I would like to see the numbers.
Yeah,
I would like to see
too.
for Heat Seeker. I'd be like,
Yeah.
it's increased by 5%.
I think that it's hard. It's hard though because it decreases goaltender like reaction time. There's a lot of other stuff taken to it, but I don't think all alone should be one. It's just too situational. There is no way that a gold version. I would want that on a card. Like, sure, it'd be a silver one that you could just throw on. That's
How
one
much
point.
how much does the gold one cost to
I
activate?
don't know. No one uses Barkov because they haven't fixed his speed in 5 years.
Before we end this episode, I am just very curious.
Barkov is one of the most frustrating cards because no matter what, they'll never update his speed on their actual like EA roster at the beginning of the year, and he's just going to be an unusable card.
Yeah.
He's the Mark Stone of center. And center, you don't even need speed, but it's like so bad that you can't do anything about it.
Where is Barkov?
They treat him like he's 6'6". That's the problem. They treat him like he's 6'6".
Hey, buddy. So All Alone is, you don't even, take a guess how much it costs to activate All Alone.
4.
Gold All Alone.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Up. 6 points. 6 points.
Dude, what a oh man, I can't wait for the Game Changer meeting where they ask us values on that. We are going to single-handedly fix the value system. Wait until next year and you guys want to run goal post to post and it costs 10. That's going to be me and Gesso.
How does that cost 6 points?
I don't know. Dude, it must make the goaltender just lie down. Like maybe no one's activated it.
Secretly the meta.
Yeah.
And it's like
it makes him go into the spread eagle every time. So you just are able. But
it just says exceptional power and accuracy on all penalty shots and breakaways.
Dude, you're just passing. Like on most breakaways, you're waiting for the trailer to catch up.
You know what this also, the fact that this is 6 points to activate, this means it's 3 times as effective according to the point system is shut down.
It's not even close. Yeah, dude, we are going to have a lengthy meeting about adjusting those values next year. Shutdown's costing 6.
So Cryptica, there's no way that you should ever use this thing, even if you got breakaways every game. And despite the fact that I suck at them, as I've said earlier, they should be automatic for most players because there's a few moves you can do to score.
It's a mechanic. Scoring on the breakaway is a mechanic that you can learn because you are facing AI goaltenders. Unless they switch out, but that's only in the higher divisions. And if that's the case, that's again you versus your opponent thing. So it is you like forehand, backhand, or the Datsu flip. Like getting a boost to those is not going to help you because like you can score them without it very easily. So. It's all mechanic based, but all right, guys. So that is going to do it for episode 18. A couple of good topics there. Thank you guys again for all the feedback. We really appreciate it. We'll post this on my channel as well as on Reddit for you guys to give our feedback. So if you have a question, look for the episode 18 Coffee and Chel post on Reddit and post your question there. That's where we'll get to. And I feel like one of these we're getting so many questions and downloads and everything like that, which we love, guys. We're gonna have to do a full like a full question like podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like some of them are great. There's a lot of questions that are really good, but upvote the ones you really want to hear. Okay, because we're now at an hour 20 minutes and we talk way too much and we're enjoying it. So like it's very easy to go over. But guys, thank you again for listening and watching. And I'm looking at the wrong camera again. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace out.